What's up, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of what went down on Teen Mom 2 Season 9B, Episode 5. Leah and her family are still in Florida, and her children are still running the household. So they're in the house of their vacation rental, and Gracie steals her phone to see her text to see if she still quote unquote likes Jeremy. Meanwhile, Allie is talking to her, telling her that she needs to ask their permission to date. I'm like, girl, why are you allowing your children to be so damn grown and bothered with grown folks' business? I just don't get it. Maybe you don't want to pop your kids in the mouth or something, but let them know that what I'm doing is none of your business. My phone is my phone. Don't even think about touching it. The fact that she entertained that let us know who your dating conversation with Allie was, and then the fact that she let Gracie run off with her phone was also because I'm pretty sure she probably has some nudes in there that she had sent to Jeremy and God knows who else. It was all just so jarring to watch. And then on top of that, Gracie's going through her phone with acrylic nails. And it just reminded me, I'm pretty sure these girls have had acrylic nails since they were 8 years old. It's all just too much and not very child appropriate in my opinion. I feel like Leah just does not discipline these kids the way they feel like they could talk to her any which way. And their curiosity about her relationship with Jeremy is unhealthy, but that's not their fault. That is a fault of Leah, kind of putting it out there for them to consume way too much in some kind of capacity. I think we're only seeing a sliver of what they're like on the show. They're probably laying it on thick in front of the girls in real life and playing dumb about it on the show. And that makes me quite sad for the girls, to be honest. And by the end of the scene, she does ultimately tell the girls that what she's doing with Jeremy is none of their business. It's adult stuff. So I was like, okay, good. I'm glad you said it. But it was very half-hearted, and knowing Leah, she is not gonna follow through on it. Now, on the other side of Florida, it's been a month since Nova's gotten to see her dad, Devoin, ever since he got drunk at the pool when he was supposed to be watching her. And so she had wrote a note on the fridge whiteboard that said, I miss my dad, or I want my dad. And then Briana and her mom talk about it, and Briana agrees to allow Devoin to be back around Nova because, that's what she wants. And at the end of the day, she can't keep Devoin away from his daughter. Meanwhile, Jade's crack-headed ex went on Instagram Live to claim that she was psychotic and toxic and that he was the one who got rid of her, when it was very obvious that she was the one who left him and that he was the toxic partner. It is so astounding and mind-blowing. It never gets old watching crazy people, toxic people, sit up on television and describe their partners as such, even though their partners are the ones who suffered by being with them. This guy was crazy. He even did the classic deadbeat thing of making people on the internet think that the mom is keeping him away from his child, when in reality, as we saw in the other scenes, he would be nodding off and the child would just be there. Jade would be the only one watching her. So come on, sir. Back in Florida again, Leah sits down with her sister to talk about her daughters going through her phone, and Addie pops up eavesdropping in the middle of the conversation, and she gets on Leah's lap and tells her that she's kind of confused about her relationship with Jeremy. And I really do hope that Leah kind of starts to censor herself when it comes to that relationship, because it's not healthy for a child to be stressing about that on that level. Back in Florida again, it feels like we're only handling Leah and Briana, but there's a lot of spare random scenes that don't really need to be discussed. I'm just trimming the fat and getting to the meat of it all. But Devoin comes over to Briana's apartment to see Nova, and he's very tail between his legs, very embarrassed about what happened that caused him to not be able to see his daughter for an entire month. So he plays Connect 4 with Nova as he tells her I miss you so much, don't think I don't think about you, I love you so much, I did something very wrong, so your mom was very disappointed in me, but now I'm gonna do better, I want to be in your life a lot more. I felt like it was great that he tried to explain it on a level that she would understand. I don't know that a kid Nova's age really understands what drunk even is. I'm not quite sure. So I felt, it was good. He went, admitted that he made a mistake, that the issue was with his mistake, that's why he wasn't around, but that he was thinking about her all the time. Down in South Dakota, Chelsea's mom, Grandma Mary, is upset about her moving 45 minutes away ever since she bought that plot of land. She complains about the drive that she'd have to make after work. She's like, I can't see that well at night. I'm not going to be able to come over after night. And Chelsea tells her that, listen, Mom, you've got kids in Florida and Texas. You're going to be fine with me moving 45 minutes away. But her mom's like, these kids are all I have left because everyone else moved away so far. I really wonder how often Glam and Mary is at Chelsea and Cole's house. Like, I'm like, who wants their parents at their house like 5 days a week anyway, especially when you stay at home with the kids? Like, they're good. They don't need you to babysit or anything like that. Like, if you don't feel like you can make the drive during the weekdays, the weekends are just fine, like, is what I would think. She also complained that she felt like everything was happening too fast, which is quite weird because they only bought a plot of land. Like, they said that they didn't have plans to build on it immediately. They were going to do it eventually. So she still does have time to process things, maybe move herself if she's really that stage 5 of a clinger. Like, she's good. I was quite impressed with how well Chelsea handled the situation. Like, usually she is a massive bitch to her mom for like no real reason, and I felt like she had every reason in the world at this point because her mom was just being so like annoying, you know, like almost like a little bit manipulative, like with the waterworks and stuff. And she had every right to be like, listen, calm the hell down. Like, I decided I wanted to move here, my family, my life, my decision, deal with it, don't. Whatever, like, I don't need to ask you for permission to move my family. And she was just like really calm, like, listen, mom, like, you've got other kids in other states. We're gonna do our best to make sure you don't feel this way. I was like, okay, girl, like, good for you. She handled that quite well. When I moved out, my mom was crying. I was like, all right, okay. Backs away slowly into my new house, not dealing with this today, no thank you. So I totally get how irritating those kinds of situations can be. Let me just throw this in there at somewhere. At some point, Kail like looks through houses, finds one she wants to buy, and decides to buy it. It's a really beautiful, huge, wonderful house. She has like a whole living room in her bedroom, like that level of big. And so she decides to buy it. And then at some point, Leah calls Kail to talk about the kids stealing her phone, and she laughs about it, of course. And Kail claims that if her kids stole her phone, they'd be traumatized. And we all know that she's alluding to like sending Chris nudes or Chris sending her nudes, but we all know that is definitely not happening because Chris is texting her through his auntie. He is not sending no nudes to his auntie's phone for her to pass on over to Kail. Like, come on. Leah then suggests that the two of them go on a joint family trip to Hawaii, and she also suggests bringing Jeremy as well, which to me I felt like, dude, didn't your 6-year-old or whatever just tell you that she felt very confused by your relationship? Why are you gonna go ahead and bring Jeremy on this and probably flirt with him in front of her and all the other girls when they're already exhibiting like a troubling level of interest in your relationship? I felt like that was quite weird. And why not just invite Corey and Miranda as well, so that it wouldn't be like an isolated thing where the kids would be thinking that it's a romantic situation between Jeremy and Leah. I just felt like that was quite weird. Like, and then she calls Jeremy later to talk about the idea of it, and then she says like, keep the like affection or whatever like away from the children if there's going to be any of that. But I think that the kids maybe don't even need that. Just the fact that this is the only dad of the baby daddy crew who's going to be there is enough for them to be like, oh, like something's going on here. So I don't know, I didn't love that. I did not love that in particular, but going to take a couple of episodes for us to get on over to Hawaii and see how things go. I don't know that Jeremy agreed to it. He said that he works a lot over the summer, so I think that he didn't ultimately end up going, which, you know, is probably in the best interest of the girls and their obsession with that relationship of theirs. Anyway, you guys, that wraps up what went down on Teen Mom 2 Season 9 Episode 5. Sorry for the delay on videos in general. It's just been a busy, like, happy week for me. I started dating again after a breakup in April, and so it's been fun going out. I met this one guy who I think is so cool. I'm trying to like play it cool with him. He pulled up to the date in like a vintage 60s Cadillac. Like, he loves old school cars, and he's just old school cool, which I really love. It's very different. It's very different from my usual type. He's like someone straight out of like Mad Men, or if you watch the show Magic City on Netflix back when it was still on, like a guy like that who's just like 100% through and through old school cool, very mid-century modern kind of guy, which is obviously completely opposite of me. Look at my place, it's like a dollhouse. But yeah, like things are going well with him for the time being, but we'll see. You really never know what life is going to throw at you, so I'll just keep playing it cool and I'll let you guys know if anything. But enough about me. I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about this episode of Teen Mom 2. Make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.